Hi, Miss Helena. Today I'm going to tell you all about endangered and extinct animals. At the same time, I am even going to give you some examples of animals that are not extinct and endangered and why and all the reasons. The fennec fox, shown here in this photo, is not endangered, neither extinct. Why? Because people are not damaging its habitats or killing it for its meat. Which, well, means that this animal can possibly not have any risk at being endangered or extinct. At least if people start making roads and start using fuel cars there, like cars that use fuel, of course these animals will breathe it and of course will die, because if you keep carbon dioxide in your body, it has powerful toxins which will eventually make you die. That's how every animal and every human who keeps carbon dioxide dies. And this animal is not at any risk of being endangered and extinct because it doesn't interest any human. These animals are insectivore, which means they eat insects. And if any person removes all of these animals and put it in another place and use their desert for homes and businesses and offices and malls, well, this animal won't find the same insects that are in that place as it used to be in the other place that lived, which means that these animals will start dying out and will eventually die. Now I'm going to tell you about endangered animals. For here, I'm giving you an example. This is a marine turtle. Why is it endangered? These animals are endangered because it is being wiped out with plastic pollution, which is not good for its environment. And if these animals mistakenly take this an example as food, it will eat it, and this plastic can harm its blood and may release toxins that may harm this animal, and these animals will die in the oceans because of plastic pollution. And these animals have two flippers at the front. These flippers will help it push forward, move forward, side, only forward, like it'll give them to move. The back legs will allow it to steer left, right, but not back. These animals cannot go back. Like some turtles can go inside their shells, but these turtles cannot go inside their shells. They use their shells for a different reason. They use their shells to protect them from enemies. Some of these marine turtles eat coral, which is good for their body. And these turtles that eat coral are attacked by sand tigers. If these sand tigers attack them, their shells is actually strong. They can put their shells in the teeth, like crack it, like push it in the teeth of the sand tiger shark. and the teeth will go off because this shell can resist the sand tiger, the shark bite force, which is good and give them a good ability to protect themselves. Here is another example of an animal that is not endangered, neither extinct. This animal is the leopard gecko. I'm showing here a purple leopard gecko with a sharp eye. These animals are not extinct or endangered. Well, the ones that are not in rainforests, but the one in the rainforests are. People are cutting the rainforests for, of course, cattle, for their sheep, or for making new homes and offices. And it is involved cutting trees, and geckos especially living trees. It helps them survive from predators, which makes, and if all the trees are cut in, well, geckos too, because geckos live in trees, and if trees are gone, even they are gone because they are in trees. But the ones that live on deserts are not in harm, unless, of course, the same example, they put roads there and they drive cars which use fuel. Well, of course, it will happen to the same as the fennec fox about the car thing. Okay? So that's why it's good to keep these animals under protection at all times. Every animal is important to this world, and we have to care them a lot. We have to care to these animals as the same as us. We take our space and they take our space. There is space in this world for everyone. Everyone has their own habitat. Everyone has their own diet, and we cannot change it. Why? Because God made it, and God thinks that this is special for everyone. So that's why we must keep ourselves to our space, and these animals will keep themselves to other spaces. I think this is a good and fair decision. Please write down in the comment what do you think is a good decision for you. Now we are coming to another endangered animal, the cheetah, of course. The cheetah are not being killed for their speed, like they want to get their muscles to use for their speed. No, of course they're killing their body for fur, the same as the tiger. People are killing the cheetah for its fur. These animals, well, as you see, they have a very decorated fur. It has like a good spots and good fur. In the shops, you might see some of these, but people are now using this less. They're using now fake ones, like they're doing the designs of their own. But in the other times, like in the 1970s and before in the 1850s, they used to cut. They killed these animals for their skin, and same as the elephant. People are sometimes still killing these animals for their trunks, for decorations. But this is very bad. These trunks are for them. They use it to protect themselves from their predators. So that's why each animal has these stuff for a reason, not for decoration. These things are not used for decorations. These are special features that these animals have, and they use it to protect themselves in the wild. So that's why it is good that we use something else that does not involve hunting or killing in the stuff. The Arctic fox and the polar bear are again a a example of endangered animals. Of course, these animals, are endangered by the stuff that is most produced these days. Global warming, of course, fuel and global and greenhouse gases, of course, make a global warming. They live on ice. If the ice melts, they will, of course, die. There are one reason for each animal. The Arctic fox. These animals are not made to swim. They cannot swim. They cannot breathe underwater, and they do not have the ability. So if the ice melts, all of them will sink in the water and they will eventually die. These animals are just endangered, but the polar bear is already at being extinct. Why? Because their ices are already being melted in the Antarctica. These animals, of course, the sea. These animals, of course, they live nearby the sea. These animals also die. Even if they can swim, they can only swim for 5 minutes and 47 seconds. After that, they will eventually die, and of course, they will sink down, and any other animal who's curious will eat them. And of course, these animals will become extinct, same as the Arctic fox, if the same thing happens to both of them. I'm going to tell the first example of an extinct animals, the dodo. Of course, these animals are extinct because people used to kill they killed their meat and their chicken because they didn't want to eat chicken. Their origin: these animals appeared in some Galapagos Islands some years ago. These animals was found for 20 years. They were there for 20 years. They are a hybrid of a duck and a chicken, which means, yes, they are the fusion of the duck and the chicken. These animals only spend 40 years of their lives. Why? Because at the first 20, they were there. At the 40 others, they would die. And since there were only little, it would be quick for these animals to risk at extinction. And even since their habitats were being cut, it was hard for females to lay their eggs, which even cut the reproduction of more dodos. So when all of this happened, these animals eventually died, and is very sad because they only live for a short time, which makes me feel very sad for them about their extinction. Makes me cry a little. Next example, the Tasmanian tiger. Well, these tigers were not the size of normal tigers. They were much, like smaller. They were more like coyotes, like tigers, coyotes, tigers, and wolves. They look most like them, but more likely coyotes than the tigers. But anyway, they had stripes, so people call them Tasmanian tiger. Why are they called Tasmanian? Because they were found in Tasmania, where Nadder lives. There, they were found in a specific forest. That was their only home. There is where they only lived. People started killing. There are two reasons why they died. One, people started killing them for their fur and for their meat. The meat, same as the cheetah, and the fur, same as every type of tiger and cat, like The jaguar, even the jaguar, they killed them for the skin. The amber leopard. These animals and the second reason these animals died out is because they started cutting that specific forest that they lived in. So when they moved in, these animals eventually died, and that was their only place they could live in. Which, yeah, it's even very sad because these animals are even hybrids. They're a mix of the coyote and the tiger, and they only lived like about for 20 years, which is even less than the dodo, which is very sad because a new species that is discovered already died. This is very sad, and that's why we should keep our species to ourselves. We might not know if we're even harming another animal. Like in the tree, we don't see an animal in the tree. People just cut it, which is very bad because maybe there might be some insects and bees and mosquitoes and, well, I know no one likes these, but it's true. And geckos, they depend on the tree. Even I know that we don't like these insects. Well, some like the gecko, but none of the others. Even if we don't like them, we should protect them. They are living species like everyone is in this world that we should keep, and we should all be safe. And we shouldn't harm any other animal. It is the wrong thing. The right thing is to protect them and don't harm them. They just want to live and eat, like everyone does in this world. Well, the water animal want to swim and more. We all are living creatures, and we have to keep our space for ourselves and the other animals for themselves. We all have a room in the world, and we should all respect that. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you like it a lot. Miss Alina, thank you for seeing my video about endangered species and extinct species. I hope you liked my video a lot, and I hope you liked it a lot. The